Hi everyone, I should learn the lesson by now that I'm actually live before Facebook Lives tells me I am live. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 14 of Parenting in a Pandemic. Who thought we would still be here? It's Father's Day coming up and I want to do a toolkit for dads. So I hope this won't take too long. I hope it's a bit of fun, but I also hope, well, I know that it's something that's useful because it's taken from the positive parenting course that we do. That's 5 workshops for dads of all kinds, dads and father figures. As usual, I want to say that this comes from Care for the Family. That they do an excellent range of resources, some of which I use, but is useful in all kinds of ways to support family life, which is what they're about, is what we're about. So can I encourage you, if you are a parent of any kind, but especially as it's Father's Day coming up, if you are a dad or father figure, do go to the Care for the Family website. There are so many great resources for dads, stepdads, single parents, foster parents, just people of every kind. So, and also I want to just give a plug to Who Let the Dads Out, which is a great activity, a great network that is part of the Care for the Family umbrella. And that is a once a month toddler group in up and down the country in a church or church hall or community space near you. That is for dads to take their children, typically once a month, to have some really good constructive play. We have one at Salway and we're really looking forward to getting that back underway. But if you let Who Let the Dads Out group know that you're interested in joining them now, if they're organising any kind of support or fun or online activity or suggestions for you to engage with your children as a dad, then I'm sure that they would include you in their further mail outs and communications. So do look that up as well, Who Let the Dads Out. Okay, so I have got a toolkit here for dads. These are 5 tools to positive parenting. And I'm going to go through them one at a time. They're actually, of course, really symbols to help us hook or remember the ideas by. So I'm going to give you the first one, an instruction manual. Instruction manuals help us to get the best out of stuff, to follow the instructions, to do things the right way, not ruin your lovely piece of equipment, in this case, a microscope set. So that you can make it work for you and get the best out of it. And as a parent, that is about setting expectations. So we need to have sort of rules or boundaries that we live by, that we know how we want to go forward, and our children know as well. We've got that framework. It's good to agree boundaries with your partner, whether you live with your co-parents or not. You could have a co-parent and a partner. So it can get complicated, but it's good to have common expectations that you agree, like, not shouting or as adults, none of us shouting at each other. Not fighting, not, hitting. Depending on the age of your children, you might have a range of expectations. And I would say have as few rules as you can, but the ones that you choose to be rules are the ones you will absolutely defend and back up. Other things you might be able to be flexible on. So, for example, bedtimes. Yes, we'll go to bed by 7:30 on a weeknight, but we'll be relaxed at the weekend or in the holidays. And so you have boundaries which are flexible, which move according to circumstances, and you have those steadfast rules that don't change, that you just expect people must abide by. So that's the first thing. Set your expectations and be prepared to defend them. And be realistic, I would say. The next one, I've got a toothbrush. The toothbrush represents routines. Routines are really helpful. Some routines are daily, like brushing your teeth. You have to do that every day at the beginning and end. Some routines are weekly, so Wednesday football, or Friday granny comes over, those sorts of routines. And some are sort of annual routines, so things that come around once or twice a year. But routines are really useful if we can have them, because they help us all to know where we're at. A lot of stress happens in the home when we don't know where we're at. Children get stressed when they don't have a sense of where I am in the day, where I am in what has to be done. It makes them feel all at sea, and they're more prone to have tantrums and meltdowns when they just don't have a sense of where they are. And it's the same for us. If we know we've got to get certain things done and we have no sort of framework in place to get it done, it's really stressful. And so routines help us to make sure that we have time for everything that needs to be done. Hopefully a little bit of time for relaxation. And I would say in your weekly routine that you need to build in time for yourself. Time to take some time out, whether that's meeting your friends in the pub. Well, that'll be an online quiz at the moment, I guess. Or whether that's, you play football, or you go to matches, you have a chess club or a, stamp collecting club, whatever it is, that you make time for that. But dads, I would say, if that is allowed in your family routine, you also need to make sure that it's built in for your partner to also be able to take that break. Because partners have the same parental responsibility, and it's exhausting. And if we don't meet everybody's needs, sooner or later, someone is going to grind to a halt and not be able to function anymore. It certainly happened to me at one phase in parenting. I just couldn't function anymore because I'd been giving and not having a break, and I ground to a halt. So from personal experience, make sure that everybody's needs are met for time out. Okay, so that's routines. The next thing I want to come to is a packet of biscuits. This represents consistency. When I open this packet of biscuits, I know exactly what's inside. There's a picture on the packet, there's the name and the ingredients and everything there. And it's the same all the way through, exactly the same biscuit, time after time after time, all the way through the packet. No surprises. And this reminds us that as parents, we need to be consistent. Say what you mean what you say. If you say that, if you don't stop that and come to the table, you won't have any pudding. You need to make sure, first of all, they know that there's a time frame during which the allowance is. If you come before I count down from 5 or 10, or whatever it is, don't then start counting in fractions. Don't count slower. Don't allow them to have that thing anyway. If you've said they can't, that's not consistent. And in fact, it just makes that insecurity thing happen again. It will make tantrums more likely and meltdowns. You'll undermine your own authority. And while it might only be whether you have pudding or not today, in 5 years' time, when they know that you don't back yourself up, then unfortunately, consequences might be more serious. It will damage your relationship. And I would say consistency, not just with yourself, but consistency again with your co-parents, whoever they are. That's really important. Otherwise, the kids just play us off one against the other. So be consistent and say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't ramp up. If you don't come now, you won't have pudding today. All right then, if you're not coming, you won't have pudding for the next 2 weeks. All right, because you're just setting yourself up. You can't meet what you say, and they know it as well. It doesn't encourage them to behave well. It encourages them to do quite the opposite. So be consistent. If you need to repeat a threatened action, repeat the same one in a calm voice. So if you don't come, you won't have your dessert. You won't have your dessert today. Don't you want dessert today? Okay. 3, 2, 1. And if they're not there, however much they appeal to you and play on your emotions, don't give in. It's really important. It's an investment for the future. So that's consistency, being the same from start to finish all the way through, like a packet of biscuits. Okay, next one. A game for 2 players. It's a good job it comes after being consistent, because what I've talked about there was sort of being firm, backing yourself up, which in the long run makes life easier but can be hard to do. But this is the flip side of that. Have some positive one-to-one fun time. Build that into your week. Make that part of your routine. Do it every week. It doesn't have to be long. It could be 15 or 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be a fancy day out or anything like that. But build in fun time. Fun time strengthens your bond. It brings you closer together. And when you have a good bond and you're closer together and your children love and respect you and you love and respect them, then all these other things like being consistent, it is easier to do. They want to please people that they love and respect. Not they won't test the boundaries, but one is a foundation for the other. And again, an investment for the future. When you can have fun and roll around on the floor and have some rough and tumble and have that closeness and hugging and fun, you're investing for the time when they need to come to you and say, Dad, can I speak to you? My friends want me to do this thing and I don't know whether I should. So that's really important. One-to-one fun time. Build it into your weekly routine. Okay. And the last one is a phone. Communication. Communication is vital, isn't it? Everything we've talked about is communication. But I want to say to you an additional aspect of communication is listening. We think of it as verbalizing, explaining, underlining, all the rest of it. But a really key thing is giving our children our full attention when they are speaking to us. We need to remember that we've got 2 of these and 1 of those. And listening to your children is one of the most valuable things you can do. Give them time to explain. Don't be impatient. Don't jump in and try and finish sentence off for them or try and express ideas or thoughts for them. Give them the respect to be patient and let them say it in their own words, their own way. Sometimes they're not even going to say the thing that you expect. When they want to really talk to you, stop. Put down what you're doing. It's really hard for us, particularly if you're out all day and your time at home is limited. But just stop, come near look them in the eye, nod, yes, okay, oh no, then what? Whatever it is the most important thing in the world at that moment for them to communicate with you. And often as parents, we want to fix things. I talked about this as a toolkit. Toolkits fix things, but this is not a tool for fixing, but for understanding. The most powerful thing you can do for your children ever is to understand them rather than fix a problem. A lot of problems aren't fixable, but they're understandable. And it's your job as a parent, as a dad, to be able to listen, to understand, and to appreciate what they're saying to you. The other thing I would say, underlining all these things, but especially the communication, is values are caught and not taught. If you want your children to grow up to be constructive, respectful, loving, contributing, whatever it is, whatever your values are, you have to be that person. Our children emulate us more than we imagine. They look up to us. And often the people who are our heroes are our parents, really and truly. You might throw Nelson Mandela or someone else in there, but really our heroes are our parents. You are your child's hero, and they will emulate whatever it is you say and do, or how you say and how you do things. Do you speak respectfully to their mother? If you want them to, you must. Do you say sorry when you've got things wrong or you've lost your temper? If you want them to, you must. Do you want them to abide by the rules and the routines of family life? Do you want them to do what you say? If you want them to do it, you must. So dads, I hope that's helpful. I would just like to also invite everyone to come to our Sunday live on Father's Day. It's coming up, obviously, this Sunday at 11 o'clock on our Facebook page at Salway Evangelical Church. We're celebrating all dads and father figures, and we would love it if you sent us a picture of you with your dad or you with your children. If it's a picture of a happy memory, that would be lovely, but it could just be a picture of you together. And we will show it and share it. The message that you want to attach to it, we'll try and get that across as well. So do send us a picture by commenting with the picture underneath this post. And I'd love to share that with you and just meet you on Sunday and say hi and give you a shout out as part of your Father's Day celebrations. So that's it for this week. And I look forward to seeing everybody again next Wednesday on parenting in a pandemic.